Werezilla's Log, Supplemental. Alright, be careful. They'll assimilate after just one shot or two, so make it count. Copy that.
I'll keep this end clear, partner. Check, check.
What was that?
The Borg are disengaging. Something else is drawing their attention away from us.
Okay. Put it on screen. What do you know? The Guardian of the Universe is covering for us. Pull us away from the Borg cube as fast as you can. You know, this is hardly the first time Gamera has taken on an alien threat. And given that he took the time to rescue us from the Borg, I think it's only appropriate that we look back on those moments. It's time for Gamera's Alien Escapades Month. Now you're probably wondering why I'm talking about Gamera when it was Godzilla that had the most recent film. Well, until Godzilla saves my life, I'm sticking with a month about Gamera.
While not as famous as Godzilla, the Gamera series does have its fan base, and it's easy to see why. It's wackier, it's far more child-friendly, and frankly, it's a giant turtle that breathes fire and has rocket jets that come out of its shell. That is something you really have to see to believe.
Though talking about his fights with aliens puts me in kind of a tough spot, since that means I have to start with Gamera versus Virus. And the problems with this movie are, well...
We open with an alien vessel that's about to invade Earth, but it gets intercepted by Gamera. By the way, we have a great reveal of the title, but that gets undone thanks to the English dub renaming the movie.
We found a deadly creature protecting the Earth. Its name
is... See what I mean? We cut to a Boy Scout troop on some kind of trip. However, two of them, Masao and Jim, have run off to the coast and found themselves a submarine, which they decided to take it on a joyride.
Masao, listen, how about changing the controls?
Yeah, this is something I don't get. Jim is clearly a Caucasian kid speaking English, but he's dubbed over anyway. Nick Adams spoke English when he was in Godzilla vs. Monsters Zero, and they didn't feel a need to dub over him, too. Now, you're probably expecting a Beatles reference due to the color of the sub, but the fact that it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside is just as distracting for me. They are radioed by Masao's older sister just as they run into Gamera, who's just hanging out underwater. However, the aliens do return and trap Gamera using their super catch ray, as they call it.
The super catch ray will not be able to hold him for more than 15 minutes. We must use the time we have left to discover a way to capture Gamera and make him our slave. To do this, we will check his past by exploring his memory waves with a Videotron. Activate the Videotron. First of all, we will see how he was born and what is the extent of his power. After that, we can find his weak points.
Oh, God, not this again. Yes, when the aliens said they had 15 minutes to spare, they weren't kidding. We see all of the monster fights from Gamera vs. Barugon and Gamera vs. Gauss in their entirety. I honestly can't decide what is worse, having all the stock footage shoved in one place, or spread across the entire movie like we had in Godzilla's Revenge. Both movies have little kids with dreadful dubbing and lots of filler, so it can go either way, I guess. So after deciphering that Gamera has a soft spot for children, they kidnap Masao and Jim and make their threat to the nations of Earth. Which is pitiful, to be honest.
To the people of Earth! To the people of Earth! Know that Gamera is under our control, and listen well. Order him to continue his attacks until you decide to surrender. It's your choice. If you've had enough of this useless destruction, forget all about resistance and surrender your planet. If you do not, we cannot guarantee the lives of the two boys held prisoner on our spaceship.
The lives of every single person on the planet, or two kids who, for all the military knows, the aliens are lying about.
I mean, props to the military for even considering the fate of the kids, but as for option 3, getting them off the ship and then attacking, which would free Gamera from the aliens' control, they don't even think about that. But then Masao and Jim get in contact with the military from the ship and do something surprising.
Sister, please tell this to the others. Blast the spaceship. Don't think about us. Go on. We want you to do it. All that matters is rescuing the Earth.
I never thought I would see children make that kind of sacrifice. I kind of expect kids that age to be crying and desperately asking to be rescued. Masao and Jim have some serious spine. However, they are encouraged by Masao's father to try and undo Gamera's brainwashing using the same techniques they used to take control of the submarine. And the manner in which the brainwashing gets undone, you're not going to believe this. They switch around some of the controls that allow Gamera to attack the ship instead of Earth cities. Super advanced alien technology, my ass. Also, during their stay on the ship, they find this creature, which they assume is a prisoner. They are wrong.
We are down to our last resort. I shall kill Gamera, no matter what happens now. To do this, I must have all of your lives.
No, Master, no.
What do you know? You understand, Jim, don't you? Those men weren't really variants at all. They're humans just like us. And they get caught by the monsters. They needed their bodies to stay on the Earth. So one by one, the humans were killed and worn, just like a suit.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. The audience totally couldn't have figured that out on their own.
Though let's be fair, that's pretty hardcore for what's considered to be the more child-friendly kaiju series. So the alien's leader, Virus, merges himself with his followers, allowing him to grow to giant size. Gamera and Virus finally fight on land and underwater, with Gamera having the upper hand, and finds himself in a very awkward position at one point. The fight eventually turns in Virus' favor when he stabs Gamera in the stomach with his head. Repeatedly.
Again, this is the child-friendly series compared to Godzilla. And keep in mind, Godzilla had this.
But Gamera takes advantage of this and flies off into the atmosphere, freezing Virus before shattering him by dropping him on the surface of the ocean. So Gamera can breathe in space, but a space alien cannot. So with Virus defeated, Gamera flies off with Masao, Jim, and all the other kids from earlier cheering on.
So why he isn't leaving a trail of blood behind is anyone's guess. Would have been really awkward if Masao and Jim were just down there cheering, and all of a sudden they're drenched in Gamera's blood. Wouldn't be cheering then.
So that was the first time Gamera fought an extraterrestrial enemy, and the sci-fi craze of the 60s is as blatant in this movie as it comes. The sets are very retro and crazy. Now, as a kaiju film, it's kind of weak because they stick to the space sci-fi plot instead. Of course, what really makes it stand out is Virus, who is a monster but comes with a plan that involves minions and manipulation of others, instead of just being mind-controlled by the leader of a group of aliens.
The fact that the monster is the ultimate mastermind means this movie is actually more original than so many other times when this plot is used by kaiju films.
Now, when it comes to the kids, well, Masao and Jim are pretty much the predictable child characters for Gamera movies. The acting isn't very good, and the dubbing is on par with the Godzilla movies. Terrible. I do have to give kudos for their willingness to sacrifice themselves to stop the aliens. Sure, it's not very childlike, but at least it makes me like them better than the kids of later films.
Although Gamera has done more than just stop an invading alien force. Next time we'll see what happens when he leaves for another planet entirely.